We are live on Facebook. Getting a couple things done last minute. We're about to go in about 3 minutes, so just hold with me. I'm upside right now. What's up, BP? I see you, boy. Let me kick it off.
No, we good.
We back at it. So it's the homie Marsh Money back for another one for the MPP MoneyPot podcast. So I want to appreciate everybody who's listening to me right now. I want to appreciate everybody on Facebook. What's up, BP? I see you. I want to make sure I make this Facebook Live a little bit better when I do this. I know I was sideways the last time, and I didn't give too much feedback when people were talking, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to do that. Before we get into the show, I just want to say to everybody listening to Facebook that I want to apologize for last week, because the funny thing is I went on by myself and I advertised all the time that I had. It was going to be me and my co-host, Steve-O. And I got a little antsy, like my man used to say back in the day.
Got a little happy,
We got a little happy, So I just want to put that out there that, you know, you go as far as the people around you can go. And I shouldn't have left my right-hand man out. So I just want to introduce everybody to definitely the comic relief of the show. The homie, headbanger, Steve-O.
What's going on, everybody? Here, my main man, Marsh, man. Get this thing started.
Yes, sir. So we're going to get right into it. So there's been a lot of controversy, and a lot of people know about a lot of the social injustice, police brutality, and stuff like that. So, bro, I mean, we've seen Bron and them get on the ESPYs.
Right.
We've seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and a lot of the older, African-American folks that have been through this before kind of speak up and talk how the newer generation can keep this thing moving. But I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Cap has, to me, had the biggest impact of it. All of them.
I would have to agree. Right now, Kaepernick is definitely the face of trying to make a change in the environment through sports. I know LeBron James, Chris Paul, Carmelo, and Dwayne Wade, got up and opened for the ESPYs to speak about it. But
Right.
I mean, after that, stuff kind of died down. I know those guys do a lot in their communities to help out, but Kaepernick has just changed it. It's not that he's a rebel, but he's just speaking out about it, and a lot of people, have their own views on it. And this is how I look at it. You look at a locker room. A locker room is basically like a big pot of jambalaya. You got people, from all walks of life. Upbringings are different. Kaepernick, we all know he was, adopted by a Caucasian family. So
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So, he has views from both sides that some of us haven't experienced. And for him to still speak out about the injustice of, African Americans is pretty strong. He was brought up by, a Caucasian family that brought him in. He could have easily took, the easy route and just not spoke on it because, he kind of was, they were very wealthy, so he
Right.
he had it, a lot different, and just to see it kind of moves me myself. And not only is he just taking a knee and that's it, he's donated money.
Right. So I actually did some research on that, and I found out that he is donating. His jersey sales is actually up, and it makes me want to buy a Cap jersey myself.
Word.
And it's kind of funny because he's not my quarterback, but he is my quarterback. You dig? So, it's kind of crazy. And he even got the owner, I read, of the 49ers to give money himself. I think the owner of the 49ers came out and said he's going to pledge $1 million. And then I think even looking at, how the internet is so left and right kind of say where you can't believe everything you see on the internet. So supposedly the Seahawks are all going to kneel down for the game. Now there's been other reports that Russell Wilson said he wasn't,
right.
And I think some other team members said they weren't. But how epic would it be for that whole sideline to kneel, including Pete Carroll from the top to the bottom?
Right.
You know what I mean? That would be unreal to see that on national live TV for the Seahawks.
I mean, it'll just, he sets the precedent with all of the, how can I say it? It's like I said, it's not being rebellious towards the national anthem and towards our country at all. I don't look at it that way. I just feel as though that he's taking parts of the actual national anthem to make a stand on it, which is, liberty and justice for all.
Right.
Which isn't justice for all, and that's what he's speaking on. And a lot of people take it the wrong way and look at it as him being disrespectful towards the veterans, and I don't see it that way. And like I said, everyone has their own opinion, and some of the veterans even spoke out and asked him to take the knee. That's why he took a knee in honor of the veterans, not just sitting there. So that's him showing his respect towards them, but not towards the actual content of the national anthem.
Right, and I gotta give a shout out to some of the people on Facebook. I see Marcus Walker talking about the Seahawks. What's up, Mark? We talking about that right now, bro. And then BP is talking about his jersey sales are going back to the urban communities,
right.
And that he's that's kind of like a trendsetter. And he's absolutely right because in the Thursday game that we about to kind of get into, kind of do a little quick recap on that. Brandon Marshall, the linebacker now, a lot of people was a little, thought Brandon Marshall was the receiver from the Jets when that name came out. But Brandon Marshall, who took a knee, he had came out and said that he supported Cap. I think they even went to school together.
Yeah, they did. They were college teammates.
Yeah, I think I read that too, that they were college teammates, and he supported Cap, and then he was going to give an undisclosed donation to the military,
right.
which was awesome to hear too.
And they also, I think, are fraternity brothers as well.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. So, yeah, I mean, just a quick recap about Cap. Everybody's hearing it. It's in all communications, all outlets. I see, hold on. I see B Screws talking about the Pick Socks. So, the thing about the Pick Socks, personally, I thought it was a pretty much an asshole move on my part. We understand what you're talking about. We can see it. It's live everywhere. We see live executions. I understand what he's trying to say, but that symbolism to me meant all cops. Not just particular cops, but all cops. So I thought that was kind of a little bit over the top for me. I thought everything he was doing was right. He wasn't being nonviolent, but I thought that kind of took it up a little bit more because if I was a cop, I would have took personal to that.
Well, I mean, you can take personal to it, but he's taking this personal to himself.
Exactly.
As a black man.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
You have to know why he did that. Like he said, he has family members that's cops. I have family members that's cops. I really respect cops. They go out there, they put their life on the line for all of us to be safe at times, but I don't respect the cops that's treating people unfairly. The police brutality, just the murders, they're getting away with murders, and that was his whole focus. He said, this is towards the cops that's getting away with these injustices,
Right.
and that's getting desk duty, paid leaves. How are you being paid after you committed a crime?
Crazy.
It makes no sense.
Right.
But that was his point. And the thing about Kaepernick that I really, really like,
Right.
every time a reporter asked him a question, he had a great answer, a comeback. It wasn't just, well, I'm doing this just because.
Yeah, no.
He actually broke it down.
He's an
as to why
intelligent
he's doing
dude,
it.
like without a doubt. Like he's definitely an intelligent dude. And speaking about police brutality, when I was kind of writing up these notes about Cap, it took me back a little bit of my own run-ins with the cops.
Mm-hmm.
So there was an instance where right up on Mount Airy Ave, I'm in front of my mom's. I was looking for my cell phone, and it was in the dark, and I had my flashlight with myself with my mom's cell phone, looking under cars, trying to see if I dropped it anywhere. Dog, next thing you know, 30 minutes, I'm surrounded by 8 cops. Literally, 8 cops. You know what I mean? It was crazy. A couple of neighbors came out to kind of vouch for me, talking about he not doing nothing. He's lived here for a couple of years.
Absolutely.
But it was just unreal. And I'm just sitting here at this cop, and mind you, I'm 6'4". This cop is like 5'4", really trying to pump his chest up to mine. But there's about 7 other cops all surrounding me. And I'm like, yo, I'm just looking for my cell phone. And it was like I committed murder. And the only thing I can think of was there's a black man outside with a flashlight looking at people's cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking that people on that block called and said. And there was another instance where I was a lot younger. I was a minor, and I was coming from a house party, me and a couple of my friends and some girls, and there was a call called to the complex looking for an individual who was making a lot of ruckus and just causing a disturbance.
Okay.
As soon as I walk out, the cops are right there. They put me against the wall, bro. I'm like 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we all know about LaSalle.
Yeah.
You know I was going to go there. I had to bring it up.
Good old LaSalle.
So we all know about the LaSalle experience. If you don't know Steve, I'm going to let him take a little bit over about that whole scene, because I was definitely out there and it was crazy. So Steve-O, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just give a quick story real quick about your run-in with the police in that particular instance.
Well, back in our LaSalle days, you know, we was out having a good time. A couple of us, you know, a lot of buddies. I believe it was homecoming weekend.
GCF in the building.
Yeah, it was homecoming weekend. So we all, you know, everybody out partying, having a few drinks. A lot of parties getting broken up.
Right.
It was a bit of a chaos on Allen Avenue. A couple friends.
Yeah.
And just the police was out there. It was a lot of police breaking up, you know, a fight, maybe, you know, drunk kids walking back.
Right.
So they had about at least 7 cars out there.
Yo, they had the whole precinct
Yeah.
out there,
I mean,
bro.
at first it was a little, but then you know, a lot of the cops start coming just because it was a, you know, commotion of at least like 300 kids. Everyone walking back to dorms, leaving parties. So I mean, and then you got kids that's inebriated. So you got to know that at times that can cause trouble. But I mean, make a long story short, you know, got in a verbal altercation with a white police officer that just quickly escalated due to the fact that he didn't believe that I belonged in that area.
He couldn't tell who went to school and he was a neighborhood guy.
So his exact words were, "You don't belong here. Go home."
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, you know, my response is, you know, I do belong here. I'm a student here. So
we had LaSalle shirts on too.
Right. So to me, this is home.
Right.
So this is my home away from home.
Crazy.
So I am home. You know, I'm surrounded by my friends, you know, who I consider family and everything. So I'm home. So I am home. You know, I don't need to go anywhere. I'm home. You know, and like I said, it quickly escalated due to a verbal altercation that turned physical. And at that time, I'm maybe 20 years old.
Right.
We're not old enough to drink. So
no, we're not.
Yeah, 20 years old at the oldest. You know, walking across the street, and it's just like I'm being harassed by the same cop, and I was beforehand talking to a female police officer who was, African American, who was giving me directions on how to wipe the mace out of a friend's eye who was, he was maced and he couldn't see. So she was telling me, this is what you do. You take him back in, you put his head under the faucet, rinse his eyes out for a while. And she was very nice, professional. And that's when the Caucasian male officer came over and told me to go to F home. You don't belong here. And that's how it escalated. As I'm crossing the street, he's still harassing me because I'm not compliant with his directions, is what I was told. I wasn't walking the way that he wanted me to walk.
Right.
And, as I'm walking, he grabs me. And, anyone's reaction when someone grabs them is to pull away. So immediately you pull away like, what's going on? What are you doing? Don't touch me. Yeah. And quickly, I just seen a stream of mace into my eyes, and a few officers just hit me with the, batons, blackjacks, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, man. It took a couple. We were trying to tell you to go down, but you didn't want to go down.
I don't know if I could. You know how you just black out? I think that's how it was.
Yeah.
It just got dark.
Yeah, I don't want to laugh at it, but I can remember seeing it, and I just remember like it was literally out of a movie. It was literally 3 or 4 guys, batons out, trying to get you on the ground.
Yeah. And all I can remember is everyone like, just fall.
Yeah, just get down.
But,
yeah.
I mean, you can say just fall. Of course, I blacked out because it was a mace in my eyes. I don't know what's going on. So, I mean, we can sit back and, you laugh. But, it's just horrible because as a kid, you're trying to go to school. You meet your friends. You're getting an education.
Right.
And that's the last thing that you want to encounter. But, even as I got older, I've had my run-ins with the police due to car stops or traffic stops. And some of them, Caucasian were very, very nice and professional. It's not all of them, and that's when I go back to Kaepernick and his socks. I do understand the statement with the socks because it's pertaining to the officers that he's pinpointing, and those guys that I encountered would fall into that category, and I would wear those socks for them in honor of the officers that I encountered in a bad experience. So, I mean, like I said, we all have our different views on everything, and like I said, I respect cops to the fullest because they're the ones that's out here. A lot of them, the good ones, that's putting their life on the line to keep us safe, and that's why I didn't understand the Santa Clara police saying that they will boycott the games because of one person, and this is his opinion.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you got other people that's paying their money to watch these games, and they're hoping that they're safe at the games. Why boycott and put other people's lives in jeopardy because of one person who you don't agree with?
Right.
Like, because you don't agree with them, that's fine. You can have your personal grudge against that person, but to boycott thousands and thousands of fans that's going to be there enjoying themselves, that's going to be drinking, and trouble can start, as we all know, when alcohol is involved. Like, look at the Eagle Stadium. They have a holding cell there. So
I think that's the vet though.
No,
is that still at the new one?
Yeah, even there. Yes.
That's because we're crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, imagine a place like that with no police to police the stadium.
All I gotta say, don't come to the stadium wearing a Cowboys jersey.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And speaking of that, let us go right into. Let's go right into the Eagles, man. So we're gonna do a quick run through of the Eagles. We're gonna do what we think the record's gonna be, the team outlook, and just a little bit more predictions. So, real quick hits, is everybody knows Bradford's gone. So, I mean,
Sammy Sleeves, man. you will be forever missed, Sammy Sleeves.
I honestly think that they're going to clap for him when he comes back.
I don't.
You don't? You think they're going to boo the bullshit out of him?
Yeah, they threw snowballs at Santa, though. They're not clapping for Sam Bradford.
No, you don't think so? I thought a couple people might stand up and give him a clap. It's not going to be like Donovan clap, but
For what? What is he going to get a standing ovation for?
He's not going to. I said clap. I didn't say, I don't know. You're right. Maybe not.
No.
All right, we'll just pass
Come
on. So, your homie Eric Rowe got traded. Come on.
Oh, man. Eric Rowe. I think Eric Rowe is going to be a good player.
He's a mop.
He's not a mop.
He is a mop.
He showed upside last year. I mean, he just wasn't in favor with the coaches and stuff like that happens.
He sucks.
I think it was a bad trade, first of all, because we don't really have too much depth at the cornerback position. And, I mean, Eric Rowe, he was out of position a lot of times.
Right.
Even, not turning his head. Like you said, a lot of the fluidity in his hips and everything, he seemed to struggle with at times. But at times, you've seen a kid that can play the position. And this is after 1 year. Like, we got to be honest, man. There's not. Look at Let's look at the Cowboys with Claiborne. He was a first-round pick. He still has never played up to that, and it takes these guys years at times, and for them to give up on them after 1 year is a little mind-boggling to me.
I just haven't seen it. I'm just gonna be straight up and honest with you. I haven't seen not one thing. I mean, the only thing I saw, he battled Megatron, and it's hard. You can't do anything. It's Calvin. So I understand that, and he went out there and he kept battling, and in that game, Stafford put the ball right in the money, and there's just nothing you can do. Just good defense, better throw.
He's gonna end up being a good player. Just remember I said that. Over in New England, he's gonna play pretty well.
Whatever.
But I'm gonna tell you one guy that a lot of people might not even remember, who I think was a little under the radar signing that they just picked up. And that's the kid, Terrence Brooks. He played at Florida State as a safety. He was on that national championship team with Jameis Winston.
Right.
When they had Jernigan, Joyner, all of them guys. But Terrence Brooks he's a hitter, man. He's a sure tackler. He's a safety, by the way. But I can also see him, if the Eagles want to transition into like the hybrid safety linebacker. Right. I look at him as a guy to keep an eye on, because look at Deion Buchanan over in Arizona. He was a safety coming out of college. He's their linebacker, and I believe that the Redskins are probably going to do the same thing with Sue Cravens out of USC that they just drafted.
Okay.
And he's another guy. I just like the idea of having a bigger safety transition down to linebacker with the speed, because it's more of
that's what it's going to.
Yeah,
too.
It's a passing league. You're not really. There's no real 4-3s anymore. It's not too many teams that's going to play three linebackers. That's not even a base defense anymore.
Yeah, because if you think about it, most teams stay in that 3 wide. Anyway.
Absolutely. So that's not even your base defense. So your nickel backs are playing a lot, and if you have these guys that are tweeners that can be a safety linebacker, and they don't have to come out of the game. Right. I just think that's one kid that I really like to pick up, and I don't know if they, the scouting. Actually, they got the guy from the Ravens, to be honest, in the front office now. One of the guys. Right. I can't think of his name off top, but maybe he has something to do with it. But he's a really good player. Like I said, he comes down, lay the wood, short tackler, tackles well in space, and hopefully, within a year or two, he get to work himself in. But he's going to be a good player to watch.
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you said. I didn't look too much into some of those players, especially one from the Redskins. But sure enough, the Redskins do they're getting better at drafting and getting more talent. So it wouldn't surprise me if that guy's a player. So the Wentz era started. He's going to get the start tomorrow. And what's your thoughts on the team outlook on offense first? What do you see? Because I'm gonna throw my little tidbits out there. I think it's very vanilla.
I agree. I mean,
there's no speed at wide receiver. We have, I think Wentz is going to be lots of underneath routes.
Mm-hmm.
Matthews is. We don't even know how healthy he is. I mean, he's been out for a couple of weeks. We don't know if he's going to play outside. We don't know if he's going to play inside.
He's strictly slot.
He should be a slot.
Yeah, he's strictly slot.
We don't know about anything about Lane Johnson's suspension, even though I suspect it to come. He's going to be suspended, but he's going to suit up and play tomorrow.
I'm going to be honest. I think as it goes on, it might look more towards him being able to play, because the longer it's taken is kind of is weird to me, because if you already got the sample B,
it hasn't come back yet.
But how long does it take?
It shouldn't take this long.
Exactly. So there has to be some type of discrepancy in something. Whereas though maybe he did something right. Maybe he did get it authorized or something, like he said he did in the beginning. He also said that he didn't know about it, so who knows? But
right,
it's just mind-boggling to me that it takes this long, and it usually don't take that long. If someone has a PED,
right,
they're usually on top of it. But for them to take a B sample and it's taking this long, it's kind of curious to me, because usually they try to get things started before the season. I mean, we've seen when guys have been suspended maybe 2-3 games in, but I don't know, Nick.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how that plays out. But if he does get suspended, the problem is that the guy who's going to take his place, I forget who they're going to move over to right tackle.
I believe was
it Barber
or Tobin?
It was it Tobin?
Yeah.
So moving him, he's not getting those reps now. He's missing live reps, and they're just going to throw him in the, kind of throw him in the fly.
But let's be serious. Are you going to continue to set Lane Johnson on the bench?
Oh, hell no.
What a
Lane is playing.
Exactly. With a rookie quarterback, you got to protect him.
Yeah, Lane will be out there until they tell him that he can't.
It's not that he's missing live reps, though. He's moved over to the left guard spot.
Right.
So he's still going to be playing live in games.
Yeah.
So he's still going to have the continuity with the line.
Left guard is different than right tackle, bro.
Yeah, but I suspect that the Eagles will use a lot of double tight ends, maybe keep one in to help block. Because you got to try to keep your rookie quarterback clean.
Right.
Because we don't know what this guy is. And that's my whole thing. I have no idea who Carson Wentz is. And
as you say that, we can run right into the next guy, who is Dorian Green Beckham, DGB.
I think he's a player, man. He's a player.
Did you know he was 6th in the league in yards per catch? I think it was like 17.2, which is surprising. Like
why is it so surprising?
Because I just didn't think he was a deep threat. I mean, he's a big body. Of course, he's got the speed.
4.4 and 8.
That doesn't mean he's
a deep threat. Look at his tape in Missouri. Look at him playing in Missouri. He caught a lot of deep balls. Most of his balls were deep balls.
Yeah, that's a spread offense. We're talking about NFL.
And the NFL runs a lot of spread.
Macklin was a deep threat in Missouri.
Macklin's still a deep threat.
He's not no deep threat.
Come on,
stop
man.
it.
He's still a deep threat.
Come on.
Macklin is still a deep threat. Look at Macklin numbers. How about we pull those up and see his yards?
I guarantee you it's nowhere near 17.2.
I'm sure it's not.
I'm pretty sure it's like 12.
Macklin isn't a possession receiver.
He can go deep. Now, don't get it twisted. Macklin can go deep, but he's not a deep threat. There's a difference.
I beg to differ. But, I mean, if we're going to compare the deep threat to him and like a Deshaun Jackson, then nah.
Yeah, of course
there's no comparison.
Yeah, no, not at all. So, another thing, too, that I think is kind of going under the radar, is Sproles. Because the OC, was it Frank Reitz?
Right.
He said that he wants to use Sproles as a Danny Woodhead type, which I think is right up where, what type of player Sproles is. And people look at Danny Woodhead and don't think he's nothing. He is a monster.
Yeah, he's like a Swiss Army knife, man.
Yes.
He does it all, man.
Yes.
He catches well. He'll run between the tackles, get you that 3-4 yards. I mean, he's a very smart player. He came from, playing with big Bill Belichick over there. Man. So, you got to respect some of those guys that can pick up different things from systems and utilize it when they're going somewhere else. But, I mean, to talk about Sparrows, man, I don't know how much faith I have in him outside of being a punt returner. I mean, me and you, we battle all day about my man Malcolm Jenkins, and you trying to tell me he's about to approach the opposite side of his
we'll get
down
the,
here.
we'll get the defense.
Yeah, we'll get to him. But
bit,
I'm comparing that situation to Sparrows.
Right.
Sparrows is a guy that you're going to give him 6 to 7 touches a game. That's it. That's his max.
No.
Yes.
No.
That's his max.
6 to 7.
6 to 7.
Get out of here, Steve.
Either running or passing.
Sparrows was a Pro Bowler last year, and he
as
got
a returner.
Okay, but didn't he do work as a run? Didn't he set a career high in rushing yards last year?
No, he didn't.
Was it the year before?
Right. He wasn't rushing that much last year. They had DeMarco Murray and they had Ryan Matthews.
I think he still had like 300 yards rushing.
No. Either way, he's not that big of a threat to me. I mean, you can utilize him and set him up. His biggest threat is as a slot and having him mismatched against a safety or a linebacker. That's what it is. But him as a runner, I don't know.
No. I'm not talking about putting him between the tackles and run, but I mean he can still run. I'm pretty sure Frank is going to find ways to get him the ball. And
6-7 touches should be his max again.
Wow. I don't know about that, but
But why not? You got to get these young guys involved, man. Sparrows is not going to be around for the long haul during your rebuilding stage. So you got to get some chemistry with Carson Wentz and these guys. That's why I really like Green Beckham, man, because he's very young. So him and Carson really have the opportunity to grow together. And, to work on that chemistry off season during this year, during the season, even when they're doing workouts, they have time. Like this is what Green Beckham's second year. This is Carson Wentz's first year.
Right.
He's on his rookie deal, both of them. So you can ride it out until the end of the rookie deals and see how they do. So they have time to grow together. I mean, Nelson Aguilar. He's a disappointment to me, man.
Yeah, no, he is. I have him in one of my bold predictions to actually lead the Eagles and or not even lead the Eagles in receiving yards, but be quote unquote their best receiver.
Come on.
And I'm gonna still stick with that. I think with Wentz being quarterback, you don't know who he's going to key in on. You would say Jordan Matthews just by the history. But I don't think that's going to be the case, to be honest with you. We don't, like you said, we don't know what Wentz is. We don't know what he's going to do, what kind of.
It's not about keying on him, but Aguilar creates no separation. He creates no separation at times.
What receiver with the Eagles does?
Jordan Matthews uses his body very well and creates separation out of the slot.
Was that more scheme or Jordan Matthews?
It's more Jordan Matthews and his route running and the way he uses his body. Absolutely.
I think it's a little bit more scheme with Chip Kelly than Matthews.
No way. He uses his body very, very well.
Well, we're going to see this year because we ain't running Chip Kelly.
To be honest, he's matched up against their slot corners, slot corners are usually small.
Right.
And you got Matthews at 6'3", if I'm not mistaken. 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, no, he's a big guy.
Yeah.
Pause.
So, I mean, to say that Nelson Aguilar is going to be the best receiver, I don't see it, especially after Green Beckham. I'll put my prediction as Green Beckham having a way better year than Aguilar.
All right, well, God bless you.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see when that comes up. So, speaking of Frank Wright, was it Frank Wright or Frank Rich? I forget. I'm not even sure how to pronounce his last name. But, we got to go to Dougie P getting in here. I mean, so what you think about Dougie P, man? This is going to be the first time, he is a play caller. I mean, Big Red Andy Reid didn't really give that title up. And they say Dougie was
calling plays.
Yeah. I don't know about all that.
I mean, who knows though? He might have. I mean, you got to think about it. Andy Reid has helped a lot of guys become head coaches and be successful at things that they do.
Right.
So learning and being his understudy is always a plus. I also think what is going to help Doug Peterson become a good coach. I'm not going to see how good he's going to be. I'm not sure how high his ceiling is going to be as a coach, but he has a lot of the tools around him in his defensive coordinator, Frank Reich, as well. So these guys have been around in the league. I mean, Schwartz was a head coach himself.
Right.
And dating back to like the Andy Reid era, you had Jim Johnson who just ran that defense. You let him do what he want to do, and I think that's the kind of program that Doug Peterson is going to run. He's going to let Jim Schwartz run his defense how he want to do it, because he know that he needs them, and he's been around. So that helps him out as a coach. That's one less thing that he needs to worry about when it comes to game planning and getting all of the ducks in a row. He has someone that's been able to prepare as a head coach that's right next to him. And I think that's going to help him out tremendously. I mean, what's his name? Howie Roseman put some, position coaches and just personnel around Doug Peterson to help him and to, help him be a motivator. Like Brian Dawkins, man, that was a good move.
Right.
Having him. He also hired Quentin Michael, who's played he's hiring a lot of the players that played during Doug Peterson's tenure here.
Well, not even that. Dougie P is definitely he's a player's coach, just like Reid was.
Yeah.
So I think Reid was the same way. Reid's staff was a lot of ex-players as well.
Right.
Like some of the assistants and stuff like that.
Because look at the assistants that's with Doug Peterson right now. They hired Sean Barber. They got Deuce played with him.
Right.
Greg Lewis is the wide receivers coach.
Yeah.
God bless him.
And you already said B-Dog.
Yeah, B-Dog, Quentin Michael. So it's guys that he's familiar with. He got familiar faces in the building, which helps ease everyone. But him as a play caller, I'm not quite sure. I don't know. It's still an unknown. I'm hoping that he utilizes his quarterback intelligence to know that he can't have Carson Wentz taking all of these hits. He got to run plays that's going to help him get the ball out fast. He got to utilize the running game that's going to take a lot off of his shoulders, and then ease him in, because he really hasn't had a preseason. He only played 39 snaps.
Yeah, no, that's true. But hey, before we go into the defense, I gotta give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Fresh Prince Inc. out there in on 22nd Street, 2825 North 22nd Street, 267-287-7483 for screen printing and graphic designs. I'm not wearing any of the MoneyPot shirts, but definitely ask for Nasir Yard Scheme Team. Schemes is in.
Nazo.
And go ahead and if you need anything done with any type of screen printing, anything, any type of jersey design, hats, socks,
gloves,
anything,
whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want out there. Definitely stop by there, check out PPI, ask for Nasir Yard, and maybe drop that MoneyPot podcast name. Maybe he might even hook you up with a little bit of discount. So, on to the defense. So, obviously, going back to what made Philadelphia football so great is obviously defense, from the Buddy Ryan days, even the Ray Rose days, and even there was the tension with Andy Reid here. That front seven is as stout as they come. We got the big Baloo Bear Cox up there.
Oh man, Fletch.
Fletch. We got a great rotation. We're going back to the Y9 that made people like Jason Babin superstars.
Right.
We got Logan. We got Graham. got your boy Curry.
Vinny.
We got Barber, Connor Barwin. I'm sorry, Barwin. And I looked up some of his stats just to see if he could play DN. And I do remember he could. You know, he had 14 sacks with us in 2014. So
look at this though. Connor Barwin is a player. He's a player. He's the kind of guy that you want on your team because he's a team player. He's not going to complain about much. If you need him to go down to DN, he shifted down with no complaints.
No problem.
After playing in a 3-4 outside linebacker, but a lot of people don't know that Connor Barwin a lot of times was the Russian linebacker. I mean, he covered well.
Right.
But he's very stout against the run. And he sets the edge. He doesn't really give up the outside much. So even if he's not going to make that play, he's going to make it turn back in and somebody else can clean up. He can rush the passer, and he does a hell of a job getting his hands up at the line.
And if he can't get the job done, my main man, Marcus Smith, is going to get it done. I think everybody's hating on me because I think Marcus Smith might turn the corner this year. I think the wire 9 is going to play to his strengths.
Garbage.
Whatever people think his strengths are or not. I honestly, bro, I thought a lot about it. He reminds me a lot of how Indy Kalu started here. Situational pass rusher, got in, got a couple sacks, during the year, provided any type of pass rush. I think Indy Kalu was probably a little bit better player because he kind of did it all. But I think the skill set is very similar. And being a kind of a big athletic guy who can rush the passer, can drop in coverage. So watch out for Marcus Smith, y'all, even though nobody likes that pick.
You want my honest opinion on Marcus Smith?
No.
Oscar the Grouch, man. He's just garbage. I don't see anything promising in him. He plays against the third stringers and doesn't dominate. He's been in the league. This is what, his second year?
He's the start of his third year.
He's always hurt.
He just don't play. I don't think he's hurt.
Well, why isn't he playing? He was a first-round pick.
Well, I know the first year, remember, Jason Peters came out. I was like, this boy looked like a high school player just because his body wasn't ready. So I know he was.
Now he looks like a sophomore in college.
Okay. We'll see when it's all said and done, bro.
Honestly, he may be able to rush here and there, but
as a situational pass rusher, yes.
The kid Means had a way better preseason. He looks better as a player. His moves. Marcus Smith has no moves. I didn't see him make no move. He just ran past people, and it looked like a busted assignment at times because these old linemen were third stringers. And I mean, you put me out there to run past him.
Steve is a hater.
You put me down there to run past somebody that's not paying me no attention. I think I'm going to make a sack too.
All right, we're going to move on to the linebackers after that comment.
Yeah. That guy stinks, man.
So, looking at the linebackers, I think we're somewhat average there. We only kept 4. Telek has anything left in the tank, but it was still a good signing. He knows Sports' defense. Can Hicks stay healthy? Is another question mark. He's always been kind of banged up. And also, Nigel at the Sam linebacker, and that's a strong side linebacker for those who don't know that. What is he? Because we haven't seen much of him. Only kind of noise we got from him is his issue that he had down in Florida. But see,
here's the thing. Like I talked to you before, and you said you haven't heard much about Hicks. You haven't heard much about other people, but at times, hearing nothing is a good thing because you're not hearing the mistakes. You're not hearing that they don't fit the scheme. You're not hearing that they're not built for a 4-3.
Yeah, I ain't hearing nothing positive either.
But you don't see anything bad either. So, I mean, them Hicks transitioning from a 3-4 and still being able to play, no, he didn't make any.
They moved him now. He's not in the middle no more.
No, he's going outside. He's taking your boy Kendrick's spot.
Is he going to weak side? Yeah, he is. Nigel's strong.
Yeah. And Kendricks, God help him, man. He just got that money. I don't even think he deserved all of that money, to be honest. But I mean, he can play. When healthy, he's fast, but he's
talented.
He's got exposed lately covering these tight ends.
Yeah,
he's had a hard time covering tight ends. Not even just him being small. It's at times he looked like he's lost.
I don't know about that, but I think it's just an advantage because the tight end has morphed into a hybrid tight end, receiver. Like they're all 6'5", 6'6",
But
two.
Kendricks is fast enough to at least keep up with him, and he's been getting burnt. He's been getting burnt. It looks like he shouldn't even be out there at times. But
Right.
I mean, I don't know if it's due to injury at times because he's always injured. So maybe that's an excuse, I guess. But I really think Hicks is going to be a good player, man, for a long time. And his issue is injuries as well, dating back to college. So, I mean, we can't really put too much on him as much as I like to, and I know you know I like him.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of his.
And if he can stay healthy and just be in the same system, he got a group of guys up front of him that's going to keep him clean a lot.
Right.
And one underrated player that we forgot to mention on that D line is Benny Logan. Benny Logan is.
I got Logan down.
It's very underrated.
He is underrated.
Yeah, and I think this year is going to show because Jim Schwartz allowed his D tackles to attack. They attack upfield.
That whole D line is going to be allowed to go.
Yeah, that wide line allows them D tackles to go attack. And just dating back to Jim Schwartz days, and look in Tennessee when he had Hainsworth. Hainsworth was a beast. He loves his D tackles. He makes them players. Detroit, and Ndamukong Suh, but not only Suh. Look at Fairley. Fairley was there. We don't hear much of Fairley after that.
Right.
He's down in the Saints now, but where did he play last year? Oh, in the Rams, and he didn't make any noise with the Rams.
It's hard with Donald there.
It's hard, but he still had the opportunity. He was in that rotation.
No, he was.
He definitely was in that rotation.
He was.
So we're not going to make no excuses. And then let's look at Buffalo. He had Darius and Kyle Williams.
Right.
Both of those guys had really good seasons. So I really think Benny Logan is a guy to keep your eyes on this. This
It's
season.
funny how you explain Fairley. Fairley played against marquee, top guys. You just said Darius, Ndamukong Suh, Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's hard to shine over those guys.
But and a lot of those guys, no, I'm saying they shine under Schwartz though.
Right.
Those are the guys that shine. But that's what I'm saying. And Ndamukong Suh was the tackle. He was the man. That's the same as Fletcher Cox.
Right.
Fletcher Cox is the man on this line.
Right.
And he's the Ndamukong Suh of Detroit. But Nick Fairley, Benny Logan can be that Nick Fairley.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Sunday should be a good test, and we'll get to that. So let's finish up, the Eagles' defense and look at the, the back end of it with the Jenkins, the safeties, and the corners. So my take on them is, I think the safeties will be solid. We've had this argument numerous of times of Malcolm Jenkins. I think he will regress. I don't think he's going to be the Pro Bowl player that he has been the last 2 years.
Can I ask you why? Just why?
I just have a feeling, man. I just have a feeling.
Okay. All right. If that's what you're going to go off, I'm okay with that. Because if you just have a feeling that he's going to regress, then that's cool. But nothing shows that he's regressed, man. This guy is very, very solid. He's an intelligent player. He's able to go from your starting safety to your starting slot corner and play at a high level. It's not that you don't lose anything with him sliding down to your slot. And that's on passing downs where he's going to come down and he's going to cover your slot. And he covers well. He tackles very well. He's a smart player, man. You need guys like that on the team.
I'm not discrediting how...
And he's not... There's nothing that shows he's regressed. Since he's been here, he's only gone up. He's gotten better. Now, safeties, and they play long. He's 28 years old. He's a 28-year-old veteran.
Right.
And he's still getting better. He's a Pro Bowl caliber player. And with him and McLeod back there, he has a guy that's played at a really high level in the NFL. Next to him. I mean, last year he had Walter Thurman.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, Walter Thurman played well, but Walter Thurman was a cornerback that transitioned into a safety. like Malcolm Jenkins, but Thurman also didn't play that much. So that was fresh to him. Him just going back to safety was something very new to him last year with Walter Thurman, but he hasn't had a guy next to him that he can count on. And this gives him more range to have the trust that this safety next to me is going to cover his side. Mm-hmm. Before that, he played with Nate Allen. And that guy is garbage to me.
He's still getting money, though.
He got a good contract, but he stinks.
Yeah,
he stinks. But Walter Thurman just has this safety next to him that can come down and support in the box. They're interchangeable, to be honest. So you got a veteran next to you that you like, yeah, I know that this guy got my back. I don't have to worry about him and make sure that he's in position because he's been playing at this position for a very long time. And McLeod plays at a high level as well.
Yeah, no, I like McLeod. I'm just looking at Jenkins' stats. So he had 109 tackles last year.
Mm-hmm. Two picks.
He had 2 picks, 80 tackles and 14 and 3 picks. Then with the Saints, he played 14 games, started 14, 68 tackles, a couple picks. 2012, he had 94. 2011, he had 77. So he's been around. He knows how to play the game of football. But just looking at those numbers, I just see like, okay, he's peaked. Like you see him gaining, kind of getting better and better every year. And I think last year he peaked. So that's why I think that he's going to regress this year. I don't think he's going to have over 100 tackles this year. I think his stat line...
He might not have to have over 100 tackles. That's the thing.
Oh, he's going to have 100 tackles.
He had to have over 100 tackles last year because that scheme last year was just terrible. Billy Davis is terrible. And that the scheme is different now. Jim Schwartz, he likes to attack with just 4. He don't send too many blitzes or nothing. Doesn't really do too much.
He blitzed a lot in the preseason.
Yeah, but a lot of times he want that front 4 to get home. If they get home, then that makes life much easier for everybody else. Them linebackers, they're able to play underneath, which is going to support the corners, who I think aren't that good. I mean, I really like.
Go ahead to the corners. Go ahead.
Yeah,
and talk about the corners.
I like Nolan Carroll. I really do. I like Nolan Carroll when he was down in Miami, to be honest, and I thought he was a good signing. But this Leotis McKelvin guy, man, I watched him in preseason, and I seen quarterbacks pick on him, and he's their number 1 corner.
Right.
And when Nolan Carroll was being picked on, Nolan Carroll held his own. He had more pass deflections. He had a pick 6.
I like Nolan Carroll.
Yeah, I think
he'll be okay, but they'll still struggle against the NFC East receivers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like our division, our receivers in our division might be the best receivers.
But see, Schwartz isn't dumb enough to leave them on the island like Billy Davis did after they just keep getting small.
Yeah, but if they can't get home to the quarterback, he's gonna have to face some pressure because Eli will sit back there and pick us apart. Kirk Cousins, I think, who I think is the real deal, will sit back there and pick us apart. And nobody knows what Dak
Shout out to Nick, too, man. Nick loved Kirk Cousins. He told us last year that Kirk Cousins is a player, and he's starting to come around. So shout out to Nick, man.
Man, I ain't going to co-sign that. Whatever. So, looking at the schedule, we got Cleveland tomorrow, Chicago, Pittsburgh, at Detroit, at Washington, and then Minnesota, and then at Dallas. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. So out of those 7 games, what you think your prediction out of the Eagles are going to be?
Out of those 7?
Yeah, because after the 7, you'll know if you're a playoff team or not.
They're not a playoff team.
They're not. I agree. They're not a playoff team.
I'm going to just give you my prediction for the year.
Oh, okay.
They're a 4-5 win team this year.
Is that at best? I have them at 6-10 at best.
4-5 win team at best. And here's the reason why. I mean, if they're going to get 3 and outs a lot, if that offense can't move, it's kind of almost like keeping the defense on the field like Chip Kelly was here almost. If they can't move the chains, then it's going to be harder on the defense, who I think is going to play really good. And they'll probably win a game or two for the team. The defense and special teams combined.
Right.
They'll probably win a game or two for us. And I can
definitely.
I can only see the offense winning maybe 3 games.
Yeah, especially with Wentz.
Exactly. So that's why I think 5 at best.
Yeah,
but, I mean, stranger things have happened, man. We've seen some people really mature quicker than others, and that could be the case. And still, as optimistic as I am about Lane Johnson, he can still be suspended. And if he's suspended,
that's a problem.
That's a problem as well.
Yeah, I have them going 4-12, to be honest with you. But we'll see. At least, with Sam here, we knew kind of what was going to look. It was just kind of we were kind of going to compete. But I think with Wentz in the trade, that it kind of brings a little bit of excitement to to football and to the city. So speaking of predictions and speaking of predictions and how we're going to go forward here for week 1, we're going to break down all the games for week 1. Hold on one second. My battery is dying on my iPad.
God damn it, Gump.
You know what it is? It's my son, man. My son is killing my iPad.
Yeah, I mean, technology these days, you gotta keep the kids a little, busy, but I try to get away from it too much. You can't say no. Look at it.
Yeah.
You can't say no today.
Sorry about that on Facebook. We had to, make sure that we're still live. So let's go break down to week 1. We're going to start from the top. We're going to run through all the games. We're going to give our little quick hits and little quick snippets of all the games and give you guys kind of idea of, what we think. So the first game we got is the Bucks versus Atlanta. So I looked at this game, man, and I think the line opened at -3. I think it's -2.5 now.
Right.
And, I kind of looked at this game, and Winston isn't actually in good in division. And people don't know that. Even though he was a rookie last year, I think his record was 2-4. The only two wins he had was when they swept Atlanta last year. I seriously doubt that happens this year. Nobody can guard Julio. It doesn't matter who you put on him. And Matt Ryan is undefeated in home openers, which a lot of people don't know. And he's 43-19 at home. I got Atlanta, bro. I got Atlanta.
I'm not quite sure, man.
Hey.
I like the fact that Atlanta is at home. So I mean, you gotta kind of shift there, and Devontae Freeman is a beast as well, man. He's a good compliment.
They're going to split though. They've come out. Whoever's hot is going to get the rock.
Yeah, and that's kind of was like that last year though. And Devontae Freeman just took the reins and just kept running.
Yeah.
And Julio was out there. He's just a man child. But I also love Jameis Winston, man. He's a player.
Yeah, he's one of my sleeper fantasies.
He's a player who's transitioned into he transformed his body.
No, he did.
He's not the same young. It looked like he had like a freshman 15 last year as a rookie, but he still balled. But this year you can see the difference, the commitment and the time he put in to perfect his craft. And during the preseason, he looked very, very sharp.
So he got there, buddy.
I think I might have to roll with Tampa, man. I just
make sure you mark that one down there.
Yeah, mark that one down. I'm gonna roll with Tampa.
You going against the grain there, buddy?
Nah, I'm not going against the grain, but Mike Evans is a beast. Safari Jenkins is good. Dougie Martin down there.
Dougie ain't gonna have the year he had last year though.
In Atlanta, they struggle at times on D, man.
Yeah, we'll see. So the next one we got
Tampa.
We got Minnesota versus Tennessee. Sean Hill gets the start. You know, I think in this game it's going to be just a question who can run the ball better.
Wait, did he announce that Sean Hill starting?
Sean Hill starting. Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, it's just, to me, it's just a question who runs the ball better. You got AP versus the tandem of Murray and Henry, and to me, who can run the ball, who can play good defense, and to me, that's a recipe of Minnesota all day.
Right.
You know, and then you know, Mariota has gotten sacked. I think he's in the top 5 getting sacked last year too. And Minnesota sports a great defense. People sleep on that defense over in Minnesota.
Their defense is serious.
I think the line was everywhere. I think when I looked at the line, it started out Minnesota -2. It went to a pick, and now it's up back to -2.5 Minnesota, which is crazy money that went on Minnesota. So I'm gonna have to go with the majority here. I like Minnesota in this game.
I think I'm gonna take Minnesota as well. I just think that they have really good defense. The defense is what's going to keep Tennessee bottled up.
Right.
The running game, DeMarco Murray might still have a good game. I'm not going to.
I think he's going to have a good year.
Yeah, I got him as one of the ones that's going to have a good year as well. But just talking about this game, if he can just get upfield and just fight through those tackles and get the 3-4 yards that we know him for doing, it's going to make life easier for Mariota. But Minnesota still got the horse back there, man. Adrian Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
Stephon Diggs is becoming a really good player. A lot of people are sleeping on Kyle Rudolph. Like, he's not really sleeping on him, but he's still a good tight end over there. So I'm going to give it to Minnesota.
Okay. So we both from Minnesota.
Yeah.
That one. All right, next one we got Cincy and the Jets. So we got no Sanu, no Elford. You know, we got Revis Island over there. Revis and
Here's another tidbit with that game, though. They said Darrelle Revis won't be following AJ Green all over the field. So,
well, I think they're gonna move Green anyway. It's not they're not just gonna leave him and get him one-on-one with Revis. They're gonna move him around, I think, anyway.
I mean, you got to.
Yeah, you have to. You have to find ways to get him the ball. But that Jets D is something serious.
No, the defense over in New York is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got their front 7 is good.
Yeah, it's actually scary good.
Yeah,
it really is. But you know, the Jets have given up the most out of the backfield to running backs yards, and I think that the Jets have to win. Like, I looked at their schedule. They faced the Bills, KC, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Arizona. Like, the Jets have a tough schedule. And when they have to win, Fitzgerald usually falters in those moments. And I don't think Fitz is going to be the same player he was last year.
No, me neither.
I think a lot took out of him when the Jets didn't want to give him money.
Right.
So I think actually Cincinnati wins this game. I think the line is at -2.5.
I agree.
I like Cincy in this game.
And I like Cincinnati's defense.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't speak on. And,
exactly.
And they have really good defense. I mean,
yeah.
Vontaze Burfict is out because his bonehead moves last year.
Oh, yeah, he is out.
Yeah, he's out. But they also have, they still got Ray Maluga over there. I know you.
What, Pac-Man?
Yeah, man. Pac-Man is a good player, man.
But not even that. They got
Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, they got a good team.
Yeah,
they got a great defense actually.
Yeah.
So we both on Cincinnati on that game. So the next game I'm going with is Oakland versus New Orleans. Now everybody loves Drew Brees at home. You know, he's a beast at home, and he just plays like a different person at home. But that defense is atrocious. That defense has never been good. It ain't gonna get good no anytime soon. I think the line is a pick right now. So I believe in the young guns coming up and coming. I believe in Derek Carr. I believe in Cooper. I believe in Khalil Mack over there. I believe that that defense is on the up and up. Lock it in.
Yeah, Oakland wins, man. Oakland wins. They have too much talent on both sides of the ball for
Right.
New Orleans. New Orleans may be able to pound a little bit with Mark Ingram and maybe a couple shots downfield to Cooks, right?
Right.
But
Fleener.
yeah, man. Fleener is a guy that's going to have a good year, and
I don't think so, man. I'm one of the guys you don't think.
crazy. You're crazy.
I know it's a friendly tight end offense, but I don't think that he's going to deliver what people think he's going to deliver.
He's fast too. He's fast and he's 6'6".
Yeah, I know what he is.
Yeah, he's going to be a player, man. He played well over in Indianapolis at times, but yeah, I'm going to lock in
Oakland. Yeah, I agree. All right, so the next one we got is the Chiefs versus the Chargers. Man, I love Phil Rivers, man. I love the dude's fight. I love his fire. He's just a guy who I want as my quarterback. But the funny thing about him, though, he hasn't passed a touchdown pass in Arrowhead Stadium since 2013. And he hasn't won a game against the AFC West in 2 years, which are kind of crazy stats. The Chiefs are missing a lot on defense.
Yeah.
Jamal Charles isn't playing. Nobody likes Alex Smith as a game manager. I don't think the Chargers will win, but I think they're 7-point dogs or close to a touchdown dogs.
Yeah,
I actually think they cover. I honestly like the Chargers to cover in that game.
Yeah, I got Kansas City, man. Kansas
You got
City.
KC?
Yeah, I got KC.
That's okay.
Covering the spread. I just think that they have guys that can fill in at all positions.
They do. And
even at the running back position, where he's going to fill in. And
he's not Jamal Charles, though. People are so high.
You don't have to be Jamal Charles in that type of offense. As we've seen, I don't know about that. They had about 3 backs. They still got Niles Davis over there that was productive when he had to run a rock.
He's a fumbler.
Yeah, but
Andy Reid don't like fumblers.
And they still have Wes. So they utilize their running backs well. That makes up for the production of Jamal Charles.
Yeah.
It's just not Jamal Charles. They just do it running back by committee.
No,
Now,
I can
now here's
get
the thing that we got to look back on.
Right.
Travis Kelce has breakout games always.
He's gonna have to have one.
And the first game, the game openers, he always have a breakout game.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Travis Kelce is a beast. And on defense, they're missing Houston. But let's not forget, they still got Marcus Peters over there. That's a extremely good corner, man. Young corner. Tom Bahali can still rush the passer.
Yeah, he's playing.
Yeah, he's playing.
Poe. Eric Berry.
Eric Berry, man, he missed a lot of time, man. But he said he was working out the same schedule that they were during training camp and everything.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I mean, he's at that safety spot.
Yeah.
And I just don't think San Diego defense is that good at all, man. They're not that good at all.
Yeah, but I don't think KC's offense is that good either. So especially without Charles.
But I got Kansas City.
Okay,
covered.
That's cool. I marked that down. So the next game we got the Bills versus the Ravens. Everybody knows Rex Ryan is on the hot seat. The defense is missing a lot of players. The Ravens are healthy on offense, but there's nobody on that offense that really scares me. Everybody's coming off some type of injury.
Yeah, big time injury.
Yeah, like it's not like they have something crazy on offense to go wow about. Sammy Watkins is healthy for the Bills. I like the dog, man. I like the Bills to beat the Ravens. I'm not sure if it's in Baltimore or not, but I like the Bills here. I think it is in Baltimore. I don't think it's at home. So I like the Bills here.
Yeah, it's in Baltimore.
Yeah,
so it's a game in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of fairly even to me, man.
They are.
Both teams are kind of even, but I will have to say that I believe that Baltimore's defense is a lot better.
Right.
A lot better than Buffalo's. I'm still not sure where we're going to get out of Tyrod Taylor. I mean, he had a good year last year. And let's not forget, he's going to Baltimore where he was a backup at. So he might try to show off in Baltimore because he was there.
I think he will.
But I also think that, the addition of Eric Weddle back at that safety over in Baltimore, paired with Elam over there, Jimmy Smith is healthy this year, can kind of neutralize Sammy Watkins. Yeah. As a
don't forget about Shady. It's Shady.
No, yeah, Shady, and they still got.
He was hurt last year too.
Yeah, they got young players at that linebacker position. Mosley over there in Baltimore, I like. So they fairly even, man. That's really a pick 'em, but I think I'll pick Baltimore since they're home and they got
the Ravens.
Yeah, they got
be more stand up,
the better quarterback and much more talented and intelligent.
So we got next is who was that? Houston and
Chicago.
Yeah, Houston and the Bears.
Here comes the money.
So when y'all hear that sound, this is my money bet. So when y'all hear that, that means this is a lock bet. I'm all over Houston on this game. Houston has way too much offense. The Bills have nobody on offense and nobody on defense. Alshon Jeffrey is not going to catch, 10 passes for 180 yards and like 3 touchdowns. Cutler is not throwing for 3 or 4 touchdowns against that Texans defense with or without J.J. Watt. Lock it in. I don't even have to really say too much more. Houston Texans, straight up all the way. Put your mortgage on it.
I'm going to go with Houston, man. Chicago, they just a mess right now.
They really might be the worst team in the league.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they was a team that only won about 3 games.
Right.
They have some talent. No one knows what Kevin White is going to do. If he can come out and be a player, then that changes a little bit of it because Cutler is a gunslinger.
He is.
It might take mid-season, maybe beyond that. So I just don't see them. Houston is very talented, man.
They are.
And Brock Osweiler was one of my sleepers for this week.
I think so. I think he's going to be a good game.
Yeah, and you never know who he's going to throw to because he's their new quarterback. So he may have a better chemistry with, let's say, like a Kyle Fuller or Braxton Miller or somebody like that. It might not even be
Strong.
Right. Hopkins. Strong is almost like the odd man out, man. He's further down on the depth chart.
He is, but he's still a player though.
Fuller took over that spot. But
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Houston, man. They got too much talent.
Good call. The next one we got is Green Bay and the Jags, and I think something that some people are forgetting that might play a part in this game is the weather. And what I mean by the weather, I just mean the humidity for Green Bay, and obviously Jacksonville Jags are used to that type of weather. Practicing in that Florida sun. Could be a shootout. I don't think the Jags can run the ball. I like Blake Bortles to throw a lot here.
The Jags to be able to run. Chris Ivory
he's hurt.
Oh wow.
He's not. He's playing, but he's questionable with a calf injury.
Right. Yeldon's not bad though neither, and Green Bay don't have a good run defense, so they're not too good against them.
All you need is Clay Matthews, bro.
Yeah.
All you need is Clay.
The juice, man.
And then Hicks back. Was it Clinton Hicks? He's a player. They got some players over on defense.
They do. Sam Show's still there.
Yeah, but the Jags have a lot of talent on defense, man. They have a lot of talent.
They're going up against
A-Rod.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, A-Rod.
Jordy Nelson and Cobb and Eddie Lacy and those guys.
They
also got Jared Cook at tight end.
Yeah.
It was an upgrade over what they've had previously.
Over Rodgers. Right. Even though Rodgers is getting a start, I think Cook does shine a little bit here.
Right.
I actually went to over this one. I didn't know really which one to go. I think it's going to be a shootout. I don't think Jacksonville can really run the ball that much.
I'm going Green Bay, buddy.
Green Bay, buddy. All right, I'll lock Stevie up for that one. So, next game we got is Seattle and Miami. They got no Parker. I think Ajay, or how you say his last name, is a health scratch. Ajay is it's a health scratch. They're in Seattle. Nobody's scared of Maxwell Cash Flow Man. This guy no chance in hell, man. Seattle all the way. Seattle all the way.
Yeah, Seattle all the way, man.
We don't even have to spend much time on that
because
one.
especially, and no one's scared of old man Arian Foster.
Yeah,
no one's scared. Of him, man. He might get hurt. Yeah, just taking a hand.
Yeah, because it's just him. No.
And Tannehill isn't. He's just Tannehill.
Right. So the next game we got is New York and Dallas, which is NFC East rivalry there.
Yeah, that's my lock right here, man.
This is your lock?
This is my lock, man.
This is your lock?
You take New York all day.
Yeah, New York all day?
All day, man.
All day New York?
I had no faith. No faith.
No faith?
No faith
so this
in Dak Prescott at all. I mean, I know y'all say he turned it up in the preseason and he played lights out. Let's not forget, majority of his snaps were from shotgun.
Okay.
Which I believe, and we both talked about this, protected some of his
flaws,
right, and inabilities. So the Giants, they spent a lot of money on defense. Let's not forget that. They got really good corners in Jenkins and DRC.
Okay.
Who we used to have. I mean, I didn't really care for him too much.
If he can stay, he's good. He's a good corner.
But he's good. He's definitely solid.
Yeah, he is.
Solid.
He is.
And either one of them can play on Des Bryant. I'm not going to say they can stop me, but you can put either one of them on Des Bryant and you're okay with it. Now, their defensive line.
I don't know about that.
I'm okay with it because DRC has the speed to keep up with him, without a doubt. So does Jenkins.
Yeah, but they're just not on Dez's level, though.
No, but you got to look at it, though. Dez's level comes down a few notches with Dak Prescott in there. So it's not...
Call him Dak Prescott.
D-A-K, man. But whatever he is, I mean, Prescott...
Right.
It's not. You're not going to get the same Des Bryant, regardless of what we've seen in a preseason. It's preseason. This is the big boy game now. You wear your big boy pants.
Right.
So Ezekiel Elliott is going to get the ball a lot, definitely, because you have to run towards your strength, which is the offensive line.
Absolutely.
So you got to hide behind your strength, and that's going to be running the ball.
Okay.
And Alfred Morris is going to bang down in that red zone too.
In the goal line.
And in the short yardage situation.
He will.
So that's the only strength I see with Dallas. Their defense stinks.
Okay.
They're missing 3-4 players. Sean Lee isn't playing.
No, he's not.
Gregory is out.
Right.
McLean is out. They had another suspension as well. So you got these fill-ins in. Their corners, they had a bad defense last year. They got Church back there, the safety, I think Scandrick, and all these guys that's just whatever.
Right.
I just think Eli is going to sit and he's going to do what he's going to do. And there's nobody that's going to defend Odell Beckham Jr. at all.
You have made a lot of valid points. I like Dallas. Point blank.
God bless you, man.
And I'm an Eagles fan, and it pained me. It was hard to say it, but money on the line, I like Dallas.
Yeah. Mark that down, man.
It's Mark, bro.
Most money picking Dallas, the star. Get out of here.
Next game we got is the Colts and the Lions. There's no Calvin, but they have Tate. They have Jones. They have Bolden. They have the tight end of, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Ebon, or I forget how you say his name. But they're all capable. Abdullah is underrated, I think. The Colts don't have any of their corners. None of their starting corners, at least. They still have problems defensively. I think that, what's his name? The defensive lineman, the end. Anish? Ezekiel?
Yeah. A-N-S. A-H.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure how to
pronounce
it.
it. Yeah, we got to get that right.
Yeah,
he's underrated, man.
Yeah,
he's underrated. He's one of the top end defensive end.
Yeah, coming out of college, he was good too.
Yeah, I think Luck is going to kind of keep it competitive. I like the Lions though. I'm not sure of that line. I think it's like -2.5 or -3. I like the Lions though.
I'll get it up for you. I mean, that's another game that I'm not quite sure of, and it's Indianapolis -3.
Yeah, I like the Lions.
In Indianapolis, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Colts. Reason being, the Colts got a lot of talent on offense, man, and they're just a different team when you have Andrew Luck back there.
I agree.
You got Moncrief, T.Y. Hilton, Dorsett.
Right.
Their running back is old. Yeah, he's on the opposite side of 30. I'll give him that. But I just like and Dwayne Allen as well, the tight end. I just like the arsenal that Luck has, and he's a quarterback that we've seen when healthy. He plays very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense, they don't really have a pass rush though. The Colts and the Lions, they both just a little. They wait and see offenses and defenses, but if it's up to me, I'm picking Colts.
All right, I got you marked down. Headbanger for the Colts.
Here comes the money.
We got another money back coming up, man.
Here comes the money.
The Pats versus Arizona. I'm going to keep this simple, loud and clear for y'all out there. No Brady, no Gronk, no chance in hell. Lock it in, easy money.
No chance at all against Arizona.
None. All right, that's an easy one, obviously. I don't care what the line is. That line can be -10. I love Arizona.
And it is -10.
Did it jump to 10 already? Wow. It was -7. Gronk. That's how big.
No. It's -7.
That's -7. It's still -7?
It's -7. Yeah, Seattle was -10. Sorry.
I was about to say Gronk was a 3-point favorite. That by tomorrow that might go to 8. It might get to 8 because Arizona.
It might.
Yeah, Arizona should mop them.
And they're in Arizona.
So here's an interesting game. I got the 2 Monday night games, and then we'll get to the Eagles game. First game, it's Pittsburgh versus Washington. So I did some research here because I wanted to kind of see this. Washington is 2-4 in Monday night games at FedEx at home too. Pittsburgh is the 3rd highest winningest team in Monday night history, but they have no Bell. Can D'Angelo Williams show that the player that he was again?
Yes.
Nobody's scared of Josh Norman against AB because AB does what he wants. Everything pointing to Pittsburgh to win this game. Just too much offense. But I kind of like Washington in the upset here. I like Washington and to cover, and I actually think they're gonna win, bro. I honestly think Washington is gonna pull off an upset on Monday Night Football and show out.
See, here's the thing that may make that come true because Pittsburgh has recently been struggling with their secondary.
Yeah, their defense.
Their last few years, their secondary has been one of the worst. I mean, we'll see how much they get out of the kid Gilbert that they just got over from Cleveland. But I gotta go with Pittsburgh, man. They're the better team. They're well coached. Big Ben, man.
Are they really the better team?
Yeah. You got Big Ben. He's a better quarterback.
He is.
Definitely. We look at the running back position. You got D'Angelo Williams.
I don't know, man.
He was very productive. You wasn't too high on him last year.
I wasn't.
And I kept telling you, I said he's a baller. He's a player.
He's great in that scheme. He is awesome in that scheme.
Absolutely. He was great in the Carolina scheme, too.
Not like this.
No, he was. You forget, man. You forget about D'Angelo Williams. D'Angelo Williams was a beast in Carolina.
Right.
I just don't like his pink dreads, but he got a reason for it, so God bless him.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just think Pittsburgh is all around a better team, man.
Right.
At wide receiver position, Antonio Brown, he's just
He's the best receiver in the game, hands down. Like 630.
Yeah. It's a toss up between him and Julio.
There's no toss up.
I'm not.
There's
gonna
no
say
toss
the
up.
Best.
He is hands
Hands
down
down.
the best receiver in the league. And I'll say it again, like 630.
I'll take him over Julio.
That means he's better. That means he's better.
But I will have a hard time picking. So
I wouldn't. He does everything. He does special teams. He catches.
You're right.
He
You're
does
right. And
everything.
he's more durable too. Julio gets hurt though.
Absolutely.
But I'm going Pittsburgh, man.
Okay.
Lock me in for Pittsburgh.
I got you locked in for Pittsburgh. So the game before the Eagles game is the second Monday night game. Yo, who's staying up to watch the Rams versus the Niners? I didn't even pick.
No one.
I didn't even pick a team because nobody cares about this game. Only time you're only going to tune in to see if Kaepernick is kneeling and all the cameras around Kaepernick. Other than that, nobody cares about the Rams and the 49ers on Monday night at 10 o'clock. I'm going to sleep after that. So I'm just going to skip that game. You can pick if you want, but I didn't. I didn't pick anything about that game. Nobody cares about that game.
Where is it at? Is it in San Fran?
It's in San Fran.
I don't know, man. That's just one. That's another one. Like I said, I couldn't decide on that one. There was a few that was kind of tough, but if I gotta pick a team, man, I'm gonna go with the Rams. They got a solid defense.
All right, I'm going with you there, bro. I'm gonna follow your lead on this one because I really didn't care either or. Nobody cares about the 49ers anymore.
My man Chip.
So here we come with the last game. Obviously, we saved the best for the last. We got the Philadelphia Eagles versus those Cleveland Browns. Dogtown. So the Wentz era begins tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I think they lean on the defense. Cleveland has nothing on offense. Not one thing that scares you. Not one thing that's exciting. I mean,
Zero.
RG3 has shown a couple flashes in the preseason, but it's still RG3. I'm going Philly all the way here, baby. Straight up.
So the Eagles -3.5. We got to win.
It dropped.
4.
Yeah, it dropped. It was at 4. I think it was at 4 or 4.5, but it did drop.
I like the Eagles to win by a touchdown.
That's all you got to say there, buddy.
Yeah, Eagles by a touchdown.
All right, so we're almost done here, everybody. I want to thank everybody for. My man Tim said he'll take Beckham over both those guys. Man, Tim, go sit down somewhere.
I mean, let's be honest, man. You just gotta respect that, man. I respect that because Beckham is a player and he's still young. He's still learning the game.
Everybody understands how
he's
good
still learning the game,
Beckham is.
man. Antonio Brown learned the game. It took him a little while. He learned the game and he knows the in and outs. Once Beckham can put everything together, it's going to be no stopping that guy. And
There's no stopping him now.
But it's going to get even worse. It's going to get worse.
Like I said to everybody out there, if you're listening and you're watching me on Facebook Live, I'm going to say it loud and clear. I'm going to say it slowly for you. That's for you, Tim. That's for you, BP. Listen up carefully. AB is hands down like 630 the best receiver in the game. There is no discussion. Not even close.
I'm not going against it at all.
Hold on, let's just put it honestly. Who are you taking the first pick?
In the PPR league.
PPR league, standard league,
Antonio
keeper
Brown.
league. You can make up a league that you want.
Antonio Brown.
AB. Why? Because he gives you the most production. He's the most durable.
That's what I'm saying. But who goes second?
That's counting who's picking. It's been a flip flop between
either Julio or Odell.
But
so they're in a conversation. I mean, Julio had more yards than him last year by, let's say, maybe I think it was like 30.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown had 2 more touchdowns than him, though,
right?
And more receptions. So they're in the same.
Bracket.
class. And it's really a toss-up of who you like. But I'm taking AB. I'll take AB. Because, like you said, he does a lot. But let's give it I'll give you 2 more years. Odell might surpass that, man.
Yeah, we'll see. I like how my man BP and Timmy going back and forth. So we'll see. So we'll round off the show by talking about some fantasy football sleepers and some DraftKing bargain deals, as we would call them. So my quarterback fantasy sleeper, I got Blake Bortles. I think that game is going to be a shootout. I don't think the Jags can really run the ball well, and I think he's going to have to pass to win. I like Ryan Matthews as well. Tomorrow, I think the offense is a similar skill set to he has a similar skill set to kind of Jamal Charles, so that offense is catered to that.
Right.
I like D-Jack. I don't think anybody can stick to Sean, kind of almost in the league, but that secondary is trash for Pittsburgh. So I like D-Jack. I like Jason Witten as a little hidden gem, as a tight end. I think Jason Witten scores a touchdown. Rookie quarterbacks always like to depend on their tight ends. So I like Jason Witten. And I like Philly's defense this week too. RG3 is going to get he's just going to get killed back there.
Right.
And I like the Eagles to get maybe a pick or two. And I think they're going to get a couple sacks, and he's a fumbler too. So
All right, well,
those are my little fantasy picks. What you got there, buddy?
Man. Well, my quarterbacks, I got 2 quarterbacks that I think is going to actually have, pretty good games, get you a lot of points tomorrow. And that'll be Derek Carr facing New Orleans.
Right.
Yeah, their
like
secondary is bad.
Yeah.
And I double back with their wide receiver, just Crabtree.
Yeah, I like Crabtree too.
Crabtree gets a lot of the looks in the red zone. And a lot of people don't understand because Crabtree is a big guy, so Derek Carr likes him in the red zone. My other quarterback is Brock Osweiler.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago has a crappy defense. They struggled in their secondary, and they got too many weapons on offense. I think Brock is going to be really well. And to piggyback with the running backs, Lamar Miller is going to have a good game as well. Like I said, Chicago stinks.
Yeah, they do.
They stink. I mean, I can't really name anyone on their defense besides they got Danny Trevathan now and a couple other guys, but their defense is bad. I think Lamar Miller is one to pick up as well as James White. James White is going to be one to look out for the Patriots. If you playing FanDuel or DraftKings, I'm sure.
I got a couple DraftKings.
He's gonna come in pretty cheap, and you gotta look at how Bill Belichick likes to utilize his running backs, similar to like a Deion Lewis, and James White has that kind of skill set. So
he does. He's like a younger Vereen.
Right, absolutely. Wide receivers, as I said before, Crabtree and Tajay Sharp from Tennessee.
Yeah,
that's one to look out for as well. He'll be cheap on DraftKings or FanDuel if any of you guys are playing that. But a lot of leagues, I'm sure he may be taken already. But if you're in the league and you see him, still on the waiver wire,
scoop him up.
Yeah,
he's a starter.
Yeah, scoop him up, man. Tight ends. My tight end sleeper for this week is McDonald from the 49ers.
Good pick.
I think he'll be one to score a touchdown, maybe 2.
Right.
And him and Blaine Gabbert has had a chemistry in the preseason. And Chip Kelly liked to utilize the tight ends too, get them in open space, let them do what they need to do. And my defense is the same. Go Eagles, man. You got to go because I mean, Cleveland doesn't really have much. So they
don't have anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing on offense.
Absolutely.
Varnish of anything. So I saw a couple back and forth on the Facebook, and BP asked me if I would start Matt Jones or Abdullah. I'm actually going to go Abdullah. Matt Jones doesn't have – I mean, he's been hurt.
Right.
But he hasn't really shown much. I think the Redskins have a lot on offense.
Right. They're going to go a lot Jordan Reed to the tight end. They're going to feed him a lot.
Is the rookie playing?
And to me,
Washington, Doxson, I think his name.
I don't No, he was hurt. So
He
I'm
was
not
hurt.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's playing
Yeah.
either.
But I'll go Abdullah. Reason
Yeah, I like
being,
Abdullah.
Pittsburgh defense is really good against the rush. Like their linebackers are with Shazier and Woodley. Like they're good, man. And their front with Tuitt and McCullum. Those guys are beasts over there. Like it's going to be hard to run against them. Now passing is good, but I don't know how good Matt Jones is going to be facing the Steelers' run defense.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you know a little bit more about Abdullah, and not even that. That Colts Lions game is going to be high scoring anyway. Even though the Redskins and Pittsburgh's game is probably be high scoring, I like Abdullah. I think he's going to be underrated. I think he's going to be quality this year.
I don't know though, because Theo Reddick is over there.
Now Theo Reddick is over there, and he just got paid, and he's definitely their passing back option.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But it's not. I don't think they're going to have big splash plays over there like they did before. I think it's going to be, not dink and dunk.
I think I'm going to have to take that back. I might have to go with Matt Jones.
You like Matt Jones?
Yeah, I like Matt Jones, man. I'm going to go with Matt Jones because Theo Reddick played a lot.
Right.
He plays a lot. So they're going to split most of the carries.
Right.
And I think Matt Jones have more of an opportunity to get you more points because he's going to be the one playing. And when they get around the red zone, he's going to get the ball. You just don't know who's going to be in for the Lions, either Reddick or Abdullah. So I'll say go with Matt Jones.
Matt Jones. All right, so BP, it's a toss up between Matt Jones and Abdullah. The homie Steve-O likes Matt Jones. I kind of favor Abdullah. So kind of do some more research. Look at the how those defenses play against the run. I personally like Abdullah, but I can see the argument for Matt Jones. So shout out for you for the question, bro. So just to almost end it off here, I'm going to do my quick DraftKings and just give y'all another thing. DraftKings is giving a $3 free entry to the $5 million fantasy football. So make sure y'all get on your DraftKings and check that out. I wish we got paid for that sponsorship right there. That'd be love. But just real quick, my bargain deals on DraftKings. Brock Osweilers are going around 6,300. I actually kind of like RG3 too. He's about 5,600. I don't think the game's gonna be high scoring, but I don't think they're gonna get shut out. And if anybody scores, he might score on the ground and throw a touchdown pass. So you might get some good value there. I actually like Gio for Cincy. He's 4,800. I like Ryan Matthews again for 5,700. I actually like Sammy Watkins, man. Sammy's going low. Sammy's under 7K, and I think Sammy's gonna torch the Ravens secondary, to be honest with you. And Crabtree too. Crabtree in that shootout with Oakland and New Orleans. He's only going for 5,500, which is crazy because obviously they're going to roll everything towards Cooper's side and leave Crabtree one-on-one. And for my last one, for all you Gronk fans out there, check out Bennett, man. With Gronk out, that tees up Bennett. And Bennett is 3,400 right now in DraftKings. Gronk was 7,900. And Bennett is 34, so you're going to get huge savings looking at Bennett. And I think Bennett might have a chance to get some garbage time and get some scores. So with that being said, man, I want to thank everybody for hanging on with me on Facebook. This was actually a little bit longer podcast than normal, but so thankful for the people who came out and kind of did some comment with me. I try my best to keep y'all involved as much as I can. I want to thank, the homie Steve-O for coming through and, giving his color commentary. And, as always, Moss Money in the building.
Yeah, shout out to Fresh Prince, too, man. My man Nas, go check him out down 22nd Street, man. You need anything, go holler at him.
Yes, sir. We out of here. Yeah.
Then they turn around and point the finger at you. There's no win situation, still I bring the strap. Before I became a rapper,
you want to say something to people? That's still live. They ain't see you.